Well, hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's cold. It's real cold and rainy. Haven't been outside today just because it's gross. Got a couple things I wanted to clean up on the porch, but it's not happening today. I was just looking over the setup here, and there's a new button where you can dual stream. But I don't know if I trust YouTube to take my video and crop it. So I'll have to investigate that sometime. Auntie Nick, welcome to the stream. Cold and rainy there too. I thought it was supposed to be warm and sunny this time of year. That's not great. Let's see here. We're going to do some work in the Nether, because that's what I want to do. I've been real busy over the last couple days doing a lot of road work and tunnel digging. So Tuesday, Tuesday, the next episode, get a lot done. One of the biggest time lapses I think I've done in a long time. And then I'm working on another episode where there's a lot going on in that one too. Let's see, let's grab some cobble. And let's grab a chest maybe? Oop. So yeah, really working hard to get this world done. And it feels weird because I saw the iron farm the other day when I was walking along through the world, and it feels like I just made the iron farm. But that was one of the first episodes. So yeah, it's always bittersweet starting a new world. So that's the portal that we just came out of into this hallway. And this is kind of ugly. Lots of netherrack. I don't mind the openings. The exposure I think is kind of cool. But this wall should all be stone. And then it opens up again. And then more stone. So that's what I want to work on today. Oh, hi, iDuggles. Just getting started. This goes down to the trial chamber at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know if we'll get to this hall today because it's a long haul. This is ugly. I want to fix this. I think I have a stone cutter down here. Let's go check real quick. There it is. What's in here? I think I'm okay. A few weeks ago, we did some work in the Nether. And this is what we did. It looks great. Look how good it looks. Once we get past here, that just goes down to the bastion. So that's that. So today, let's do some of this area over here. I guess this is as good a place to start as any. Just pick this up. I'm going to put it back down. I don't really have a plan, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. Oh yeah, I'm a backup fanatic. I have backups and then I take copies of the backups and I put them on hard drives. Mainly as a content creator. If I lost a world, that would just be bad, dumb. Yeah. start placing some blocks and see what happens here. Oh yes, losing a world, that's got to be even worse than just deciding to start a new one. At least when you decide you want to do a new world, that's, you know, a choice, not like, oh no, my world's gone. I usually hang on to the old worlds for posterity, but I don't ever really play in them again. You know, I got too much stuff. It's too much stuff. I like to revisit them, but my heart is like always in one world, and like my brain is thinking in that world. When I was doing my own thing and the SMP, it was really hard because I would care about one of them more than the other. So I don't know if it showed in my content at the time, but just the idea of like devising content or builds for two different places was really hard. Let's see what happens here if I do that. Maybe that. So yeah, we're finishing up this world. It's going great. I was aiming for 100 episodes. I think we might beat that, just barely. Maybe. I don't want to overpromise, but things are going well. Do I have any of the cracked stuff left? I don't, but I do have a furnace. That's why I have a furnace over here. It's all making sense now. Yeah, well, thanks, Doug. I appreciate your... I always beat myself up over it because, you know, I'm one of those, like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something type people where, like, I beat myself up over commitments sometimes. And I know it's just Minecraft, you know, like, it's not the end of the world if I miss an episode or that kind of thing, but I would just have a hard time personally. So anyway, that's my my therapy for the day or whatever. Cool. Yeah, that looks great. I didn't, like I said, have a plan, but nothing spawnable here. Cool. Do we need light here? Probably not, because we got the portal and all that, so great. Let's do this while I'm thinking about it, because I want to do a similar thing. I know you don't want to give details on the next series, but do you think it'll be a long series or another one similar to this with a specific end goal? That's a great question. So, I've got some thoughts. The very famous Mumbo Jumbo over on the Hermitcraft server, he did a video. Hang on, I'm going to turn the music down for myself real quick. I can't groove and think at the same time. Mumbo did a video about Let's Plays and how they're kind of dying, and it was sort of an examination of that phenomenon. It wasn't necessarily a proclamation or a prescription or anything. It was just sort of a observation, and it was really insightful. If you go to his channel, you can find it. And he had some thoughts about why Let's Plays have waned in popularity and potentially what would remedy that or what to do instead and things like that. So, you know, it was him kind of re-examining his relationship with Minecraft and then just talking to his viewers who, you know, potentially benefit from that. That's what we're gonna do. So, all that to say, there's been some other channels that I've found that have taken that conversation and kind of run with it. And they're fascinating. You know, people who have been doing it for a long, long time, kind of, you know, re-examining what's going on with Minecraft nowadays and why do people not watch Let's Plays. And some of it is really like almost like a, well, duh. So for example, one thing is series numbering. Like we're on episode 86, I think, with my Empire Let's Play series. If you're a new viewer and you show up and you see episode 86, that's daunting. That's like, I missed a lot. I don't know if I want to start. And so things like that, where it's like, there's things that Let's Plays do to kind of dissuade new viewers. And a lot of people who watch Let's Plays are watching it because of the person, you know, the individual that they either have known forever or have grown up with. You know, people like B00, despite, you know, being a great builder and all of that, they just like listening to him and he's funny and that kind of thing. So that's really the thing, is to focus your channel on who you are, I guess, and then to do things that make it easy for new viewers to get involved. So back to the original question that my man Doug proposed. What am I doing in the next series? I'm definitely not numbering the episodes. I'm going to basically do a Let's Play world that is just going to be a series of tutorials. So you can drop in anytime you want. Like you can have never watched it and start and get something out of an episode. And it's just going to be one gigantic build. One huge pile of builds. That's all I got. And so potentially it could go for a very long time, I think. I was talking a bit about SMPs and that sort of thing as well. And I found one that is medium interesting. Like as far as SMPs go, it's one where I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Creators who are all generally in the thousands of viewers. So not, you know, people just getting started. Although there are a couple people on there that I'm like, that seems like a weird choice. A little bit of a bad fit. But it's not my server, so, you know, whatever. But as I read over there, like, you know, what we're about and all that, I just get that, oh gosh, is this what I want to do? Is this how I want to spend my time? The thing that I don't like about SMPs is the social part. And that sounds terrible, because that's what they're for, is to play with other people. But as a content creator, like, you have a job to do. Your job is to create content. And so if I need to do a build or I need to, you know, accomplish something, it's hard when everybody's just sitting in Discord talking and it just becomes like a social hour kind of thing. I think there should be, you know, some of that socialness, but it seems to happen at the expense of the content creation. Or I'm just bad at setting boundaries. I don't know. Sort of like what Waddles does with his survival guide series. Yeah, I I hadn't considered that, but he kind of does that, where he kind of builds and teaches. That's the thing. I do like to teach. And I hope my voice makes it through this. The cold weather and I don't always get along. And my voice... Oops, too many buttons. It's been struggling a little bit today. I do like to teach. That's one thing I really enjoy in general in the world. But I find just making tutorial after tutorial a little dull. I don't know why that is. Because I watch my own tutorials and I'm like, that's kind of cool. What a neat tutorial. But making them or getting started, I don't know what it is. It's just less fun for me for some reason. Yeah, that's the thing is, I would not be pigeonholing myself into, I am a Let's Play. Now, you or Auntie Nick or Michael Flores or these people who watch the channel regularly, I think everybody who enjoys that sort of content is going to get that same experience. You know, it's going to be Todd hanging out, being a goofball and playing Minecraft. But if I'm just the guy who wants to learn how to make an iron farm, or what does it look like to build a smelter in a survival world, then that person would get that out of it and potentially might stick around. Ooh, I thought I saw a ghast. Yep, there it is. It's so funny now with happy ghasts. I get triggered the same way, where when I hear it or see it, I'm like, ooh, ghast. But sometimes they're dangerous and sometimes they're not now. I mean, they're always dangerous in the Nether, but when I'm in the overworld and I see it, it's like, oh god. I wonder if I can blast him from here. Nope. Man, I need more steps. Guided Let's Play, essentially. Yeah. You know, another thing I'm working on getting better at is utilizing AI to optimize things. You know, I, for the longest time, would just slap a title on it and call it good. And now I will ask ChatGPT, you know, look at this video, what would you title it? And most of the time it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just like yeah, that's a fine title. But sometimes, sometimes it does a good job of like, yeah, okay, that's a cool title. I've always been so stubborn about making what the algorithm wants me to make. Because I can look and see, you know, what are the top YouTube videos this week or whatever. What are people watching? And, you know, things like, let's do a hardcore world or let's do a 100 days. I just don't care. I don't care. I don't know why. I mean, I do care. I want people to watch my channel and, you know, stuff, but I'm just not the type of person to compromise what I want to do for numbers. And that's not just YouTube. That's like That's work too. Like I'm bad at chasing numbers. Numbers don't motivate me the same way the experience does. It's like Todd therapy today or something. I don't know what's going on. How does that look? Looks fine. Looks fine. Yeah, Douglas, we played on an SMP for a while together, and I think we just noodled in a Let's Play world for a while as well, but yeah, life happens and it gets distracting, which I totally get. People get annoying sometimes. You know, if you're on an SMP and there's that one guy where you're just like, I hope they're not on when I log on. Or I would look and see, you know, who's on. Oh gosh, this guy. And that's the thing with SMPs at this caliber, you know, where I'm not like a million subscriber person, is you're going to have people who are not as professional or as team playery. Joe Holdgrapper, great to see you. It's a pretty good mustache, right? Nick says, I watch because I like chat. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is you got to be your authentic self if you're going to do this, because if you're just faking it, you're going to burn out, you know? Let's do that. Okay, good enough. That looks fine, right? Yeah, it looks fine. We're never even gonna see it. Okay. Joe, I haven't heard from you in ages. How you doing nowadays? I heard and have seen screenshots of you playing Minecraft, which I thought was hilarious, because it just didn't seem like your thing. Let's grab this. Oh, I used the wrong pick, didn't I? No, I didn't. I did fine. Find the right balance, not get burned out. Yeah. I started doing this kind of during pandemic times, and I just haven't stopped. Like, it's been, 5 years I've been doing this. And the thing I do, like I was saying, is not the way to grow a channel. Making YouTube Let's Plays is not going to get you a big channel. I've got a couple thousand subscribers, which I'm happy about, I'm proud of. And I get some videos that take off because they are what the algorithm wants. How-tos and redstone videos and things like that, which like I said, I'm good at the teaching part. It's just not as fun if there's no adventure part, the resource gathering and the doing it in the real world. Okay, this is the portal that goes to our storage area. Let's kind of pick up here. Add a chest. There it is. Throw that on the ground. Put that there. Let's work on this little area here. We're on a micro tear. Kind of phased out of it now. I'm sure I'll get into it again. That's great. That's good to hear. Jim is at my store, and I get to hear about you vicariously through him occasionally. That's good. I'm getting to the age now where I'm starting to think about how do I get out? What's next? How do I land the plane, kind of thing. Because I'm getting tired of the whole getting up and going somewhere that somebody wants me to go kind of thing. I know that sounds lazy and terrible, but it's true. Being in the workforce for 40 years, it's hard. Let's see, leave that there. What is going on in my chat? Hang on here. I think my problem is trying too much every episode. Hours of gameplay cut down to like 20 minutes. It's tough to keep up. Oh, no longer a hobo. Yeah, no, I hear you, Joe. That is the thing. Like, I do this. I don't have to, but I do because I like the people who pop on and hang out and chat and all of that. But being able to choose when I interact with people, that's the dream right there. I am not rich by any means, but I have saved some money where I'm thinking in a couple of years I can probably go part-time and then kind of coast into 401ks and hopefully Social Security if it's still there, and IRAs and all that. So we'll see how it goes. Gotta maintain my sanity for another 5-ish years. And then I could do this all the time if I wanted. I think about that too. If I didn't have to go to work and I could spend, let's say, twice as much time on this, you know, could I grow it? Could I learn how to be a little bit more pleasing to the algorithm? Probably could, I think. Yeah, that is, so that's why I won't just quit my job, is because I would, yeah, go broke from insurance. And when you have that realization, it sucks that, like, you're kind of held hostage for medical benefits. Like, we'll cover your medical as long as you keep working, good citizen. Yeah, the United States healthcare system. Auntie Nick is down in Australia, so I assume it's better down there. I'm so disorganized here. Okay, let's put some things in the chest. Let's utilize our tools. Yeah, I know what you mean. I get a lot of comments where people are like, this is the most chill Minecraft channel I've ever seen. And some people really like that, where it's like, I really appreciate that you're not like screaming and yelling and that kind of thing. So I think there is an audience that likes that personality. But again, the content that I would make would need to be more marketable. The other thing too is, you know, besides Minecraft, you know, if I was kind of my own guy, there's other things I'm smart about. I'm super organized. You know, I could do a YouTube channel on personal organization and planning, and I'm pretty smart about all that. I'm pretty smart about tech, but obviously you can't do that while you're working for the people that you work for. Just don't get sick, Dougal says. That's great advice. That's one thing I think about. I imagine, and this might be completely false, but I imagine I would get sick less if I was around people less. You know? not only from like the contact with sniffly coughing people, but just the stress of not being around people, I think would keep you potentially healthier. I don't know if I realized that you worked from home, but yeah, that is very intriguing, enticing. The idea of not dealing with the public. It's going to take forever. Working from home since COVID. Okay. Very cool. If I had a remote job, I would, assuming I could, I know some people can't, some people have to go into the office occasionally, but I would absolutely consider the van life thing. If I didn't have to go into a workplace, if I could work from wherever I wanted, I would absolutely put it all in storage, get a little Ford Transit, and just wander the earth. Do like Jules from Pulp Fiction. I do have a little bit of that radio voice, you know. I think I agree with you, Joe. That would be fun. Narrating voiceover work. The thing is, with everything, though, I feel like AI is going to kill everything. You know, as far as like voiceover, you know, transcriptionists, summarization. Like, it's like, oh, just get the AI to do it. I'm very curious how that's all going to go. Because it could potentially all just blow up and disappear. You know, ChatGPT does not make any money. And I don't know if people would pay for it. Surprised I haven't seen any lava yet. I hope you're right. Yeah, that's always been the, you know, the Luddites, you know, the machines taking over or taking our jobs and things like that. And with electronic music and things like that, you know, there's still places for piano players and, you know, acoustic guitar, because people do like that human, authentic element. Oop, I didn't expect that. Oop. Quite a lot of experimentation on AI. Yeah, I agree. Some of the stuff that people get out of AIs or get it to do are just crazy. And yeah, prompting is kind of its own art. The thing with AI is I think it's really good at certain things. You know, if you give it a whole bunch of information and say, tell me about this, it's unparalleled as far as what it can accomplish. You know, running numbers or giving it tremendous amounts of text and asking it to summarize or find, you know, annotations within all of that. the problem with AI is that you give it to a bunch of regular people who, you know, ask it how to navigate a argument with their husband, and then you know, it's like, well, you're always right, Susan, so here's what we're gonna do. And you know, like, you get your soccer mom who gets all of her medical advice from blogs, and now the AI is telling her that she's right, and yeah, not great. And then you end up with the teenagers killing themselves and, you know, things like that, because it's just a feedback loop. It takes, you know, what people say and reaffirms it. Yep. Okay. Don't need all of this netherrack. Netherrack. I don't think I have enough stone to do this whole hallway. We'll see how it goes. If you have a, what's the right word? I mean, everybody has biases and things like that, but if you're looking to get an AI to give you information, you have to have some self-awareness to, you know, feed it things that are not skewed or biased. I don't know. AI is for data, not for opinion. I would not describe myself as a AI wizard by any means, but I use it to trip plan. You know, like, I'm going to go here. What should I do? Or, you know, what are the things that people do in this city? And if I have this many days, what order should I do them in? And things like that. And it can come up with a pretty good starting place for a trip itinerary, which is pretty cool. Sometimes I use it for, like, budgeting. You can give it, like, your numbers and say, what can I do, you know, differently, or how could I save money here? Things like that. Yeah, we've already got enough people doing that. I'm just going to keep going until I run out of stone. I don't think I have enough to get this whole thing done. But that's okay. Yeah. That's the thing, is anytime I've gone to the internet to, like, research something, I've tried to, like, get the muscle memory to just ask first, you know, because it can come up with a lot of the preliminary work for you, you know, like, get you some sources and things like that, and then you can dig in further. But rather than go from web page to web page and, you know, dig through all the ads to find information, it can pull it together really, really quickly, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Let's make more these. These. And there's the furnace. There's the furnace. Smelt up a little bit more of the, oops, cracked stone. Oh, you do the super grok? I try not to engage with Elon whenever I can avoid it. Just because he's an awful human being, but I have only messed with normal grok. And, you know, it's fine unless you, again, want to dive into an echo chamber. And then it's just ridiculous. No, I don't like that. That's D&D campaign. Oh, that's an interesting. See, I'm just not. I don't think like that. It's so interesting the things people come up with. That's brilliant. You could even have the chat GPT like be an NPC, I suppose, if you like told it, you know, you are a 500-year-old orc and you do this. Like that's fun. Well, I suppose that's true. Let's see, how are we doing here? We're doing fine. That's all I wanted, is just to look kind of crappy and roughed up, and I think we're doing a good job. See if those cracked bricks are done. Yes. Brain sacks. I need some frog lamps up in here. Yeah, that would definitely light it up. I don't know if I have any. I definitely don't have any with me. But yeah, some sort of light source would definitely brighten this up. The new update comes out, what's today? 5th? 6th? Today's the 6th. New update comes out on Tuesday, I guess. Amounts of Mayhem. The thing I am most excited about, I think, with the new update is the spear. I think that weapon looks pretty cool. I've been doing a lot of horse riding in this series, that I've been doing right now, and being able to just stick the spear out and clobber somebody just sounds super fun. The addition of the desert skeletons, what are they called? Parched, I think. It's gonna make the desert real sketchy. From Minecraft, Path of Exile, where the winds meet. Yeah, the updates they're doing are not like gigantic. They're calling them game drops. They do 4 a year. So every 3 months they come out with another update that adds some more stuff. So they're doing a good job of keeping it fresh and supporting it. Let's do a little bit of this. Yeah. Yeah, the creaking. See, that's a cool mob. Really creative. Totally different than anything else in the game. Okay, let's do a little work on this side. Tearing through materials. Oops. And that's it, huh? Yeah, that's all I got left. Okay. Okay. After the creaking, they did the happy ghast, and they did one other one. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I will definitely check it out. This world that I'm in right now, I don't have like a mega base, which I miss. I did like lots of little bases, like a little place at every village for me to hang out, but it's a good idea in theory, and it's turned out to be just a lot of work, a lot of running around, trying to figure out where stuff is and all that. But yeah, I miss having a mega base. So over there, I had a really like repeating pattern. In here, I'm just kind of doing a chaos thing, which I guess is fine. Yes, here with a buddy. There were some crazy builds. That's the thing that's fun, I think, is when you can build crazy things in survival. You know, the first time I built like something really tall, I didn't realize until like a year after playing Minecraft that you could sneak and that would keep you from falling off of an edge. So like when I was trying to place blocks, you know, 200 blocks up in the air, I would just keep falling off over and over. And then somebody was like, oh, you can just push sneak and that'll keep you from falling off the edge. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Yep. The new Happy Ghast is a cool thing too, because you can use it like as a mobile platform, basically. And rather than trying to scaffold way up there, you just fly up there and then you can stand on it, which is amazing. Would have been really handy to have that in the past as well. Okay, man, I still need to do the ceiling too. I just don't have enough stone. I've been working on all the roads, and that's where the stone's been going. Do. I know there's some people out there who just play in creative, and, you know, good for them, I guess. I agree, though. I much prefer the challenge of gathering the resources and figuring out how to build it and all of that. If you just want to make art, I guess, you know, it's cool for that. But, yeah, I much prefer to do it in a survival world. Yeah, it is a lot of resource management, and I find the automation part to be very fun. The figuring out how to do this quickly, or, you know, use redstone, things like that. That's how I use creative too. Like redstone builds, I usually do them in a creative world before I do a tutorial or show it off, you know, in the real world. Because it's so much easier to try and fail in creative and kind of figure it out. And one thing I'm thinking about right now is a storage system for my next big base. And I've got an idea, but I totally needed to kind of work it out, scratchpad kind of style in creative first. So yeah, that's how I use it. Yeah, creeper farms. If you like rockets for your elytra, that's a must. Okay. Getting down there on materials. Let's do some of those, and a few of those. Okay, once I run out of stone, I'll probably head back to the overworld and do a little bit of road planning. It's fun for the block palette thing too. I like going into creative and like just placing blocks and then kind of backing up and looking at them just to see like colors that go together, you know, things like that before I go and like try to find a mangrove forest. Am I even going to want to use mangrove wood? You know, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's pretty useful for that. I've run out of cracked blocks. There's mods that people use like Lightmatica or Axiom. I've looked at them and they're interesting because what you can do is go into creative and build something and then basically take that blueprint into survival so that you know where the blocks go. It feels a little, I mean, you are still placing the blocks, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's building it for you. It's a little cheaty, in my opinion. So I've never used Lightmatica or Axiom or any of those. But I know a lot of your like professional YouTubers do. Because I guess they don't have the time to just do it in a survival world. I wish I had more cracked blocks. It's looking a little flat. Douglas is a big fan of Lightmatica. It's coming together. It's fine. Like I said, we're barely going to spend any time here, so it doesn't need to be gorgeous. We just want it to look old and textured and lived in. Thanks for popping in, Joe. Nice to talk to you again. And I'm usually doing it on Saturdays. I've got a couple weird weekends this month just with work. But usually Saturday afternoons, I'm on for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So hopefully see you then. Good old Joe. Jim was downtown, and then he came to fill in when somebody was on a baby leave, I think, and ended up staying. The person came back from baby leave, but then another person at my store, Carrie lives closer to downtown, and Jim lived closer to Wilsonville, I think, and so they kind of switched stores, and so he's been there for, gosh, not quite a year, I don't think, but yeah, it's been great having him around. He's a super cool dude. Oops. Well, I think we got about halfway down this hallway. I want to get more blocks because it's starting to look real flat without the texture of the cracked blocks and stuff like that. And I don't like that. So let's put this project away for just a little bit. Go do something else. Yeah, I don't have anything good left. All garbage. It's all garbage. Okay. Don't really need the netherrack, but I'll put it back in there. Okay. Back to the overworld. Yeah, Jim went to California for a while, and then he went to Chicago for a while, and then he came back. And it's dark, so let's sleep. Okay. Do I need anything? I don't think I need anything. I'm low on torches. Let's make... Well, do I have any in here? No. Making some torches. Torches, torches, torches. So I was mentioning earlier SMP that I was looking at. There's a couple of people on there that are pretty great builders and pretty great redstoners. And I was like, that might be an interesting SMP. But like they'll allow anybody, not anybody, they, vet, but 16 is the minimum age. And it's just like, it seems too young. Like, too young. Do I need anything else? I don't think I do. No creepers, please. Why did I bring up the SMP? The reason I brought it up was... Oh gosh, it totally slipped my brain. Yeah, I wouldn't want to join that, yeah. Oh gosh, there's a reason I brought it up. Oh yeah, Hermitcraft, that's why. Hermitcraft, it seems like every SMP is just copying Hermitcraft. And it's a great model, so I don't fault anybody for like, I wish I was on Hermitcraft, so let's make our own Hermitcraft. Because that's what they'll tell you. Exuma is like, you're not going to join Hermitcraft, make your own Hermitcraft. But like every server is people, and they make mega bases, and they have a shopping district, and maybe a gaming district. And like I said, that's fine, but it's what everybody does. It's just, over and over and over. It'd be cool to come up with a different concept. And I know there are mods and things that do things, but without mods, I still think you could be more creative. One idea I had when we were on the Mindful SMP for a season, and it got shot down, but was to designate an area, and we could use coordinates or a biome or whatever, but we would all be, friendly, normal people on a server, except in this area. Excuse me. And this area was the no man's land. And you could put it somewhere real inconvenient. Oh yeah, I haven't ridden my horse down here yet. Hang on. I just finish this road. Let's see how it works with a horse. Well, I can't see it, but it seems to work. So imagine no man's land is in a, like I said, kind of an inconvenient place. And I would make it big, you know, like 250 blocks by 250 blocks or 500 blocks by 500 blocks, you know, something like that, big. So that it would be easier to go through no man's land than to avoid it. And basically in no man's land, anything goes. So you could just hang out and kill people, you know, or you could just build traps galore so that things blow up, or you know, catch on fire, or yeah, different things. I just think it'd be a fun concept to have like a sketchy part of the server, so that it's still friendly and cooperative, but you could, you know, and maybe even going to build a trap would be a dangerous endeavor, because who knows, it could already be trapped. Okay, what are we doing here? So road comes down the hill, road goes off to Eastwood. There's our ghast floating up in the sky there. This road is going to break off and go to Marsalis, and so I want to cut our way across here somehow. One thing they do on Hermitcraft is, you know, they do like factions, you know, like guilds, people who work together on business endeavors or different things like that. I think that sort of like role play, see, that's what I'm talking about, triggered by the ghast. I saw it out of the corner of my eye and I was like, oh gosh, it's fine. It's not going to hurt us. What else? I don't know. I don't know what else. You could always do themed things. Auntie Nick says, I love that. And there could be a reason, like, where you would have to go through this no man's land area. Like, I don't know what it would be. Like, you could put, like, let's say there's only going to be one iron farm on the whole server. And the iron farm is community-based. Anybody can use it. But it is surrounded by 100 blocks in each direction of pure chaos. That would be a reason. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Douglas asked a long time ago if I'd ever thought of doing my own SMP. And it's times like that where I think, I could probably do this better than anything I'm going to find, rather than settling. But then I'd have to manage it, have to find the people, I'd have to deal with the frustration of people quitting, or deal with the interpersonal stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I know Douglas, what's he got here? No Man's Land has the only overworld nether portal. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, see, that's a great reason. That is so good. Oh man, that would just be the worst. I think everything would be just compared to how something else takes its place. Yeah. I mean, something is always going to be the popularist thing. But I think more than one thing could potentially exist. Minecraft is so versatile, I feel like there's room for different types of content. hermits, they do different, like they did a series one time. What's this? Okay, not the end of the world. What was it called? Second Life? Last Life? I can't remember what it was called, but it was a sort of a themed thing where once you died, you became one of the undead, and then all the undead were trying to get the living people. Basically just a big season-long game that they were kind of playing. I was going to say, Douglas was on the Mindful SMP with me for a bit. And I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be completely putting words in your mouth or whatever. But I feel like if you get busy or you leave an SMP for any length of time of your own will, you know, not like you are kicked off or whatever, but and this is with the caveat that Mindful had a inactivity clause where if you didn't make episodes, they would kick you off. Is it getting dark? It is getting dark. But I'm curious, is there like if you leave, is there a stigma of like, oh, I don't want to ask to come back, or I don't want people to be weird about it? Because if you could come up with a server where people, oh, that freaked me out. People could come and go as life allowed. If there was a way to, oh, holy smokes. Mihulam Beat? Thank you so much. Didn't see you pop in. Appreciate you being here. Sleep. Yeah, if you could come up with a server that allowed for people to come and go, I think that would be so much more digestible, so much more accessible for folks who are not professionals, you know? I just don't know what that would look like. You know, obviously, I couldn't go and raid your stuff or, you know, delete your base. You would have to really kind of delineate your area so that it was clear that, you know, this is yours and we can't build here, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, that's something to think about. Where am I going here? Let's figure that part out. I know there's some ravines over here that I want to avoid. I just go straight. Gosh, look at them. Don't want that, so we're gonna go this way. These roads are so long. I can't wait for you all to see Tuesday's episode. It is absurd. Oh, here's a hole in the ground. I don't want to go there. What's this? More holes in the ground. We need to... Oh, hello, dog. Holes over here, too. I felt like there was like a point or something over here. Let's see, is this the point I'm talking about that pokes out into the water? Yes, okay. This is ultimately where I want to end up, so we can build a bridge across. Right, squid? Maybe start here and cut our way back. It's a tough one. I agree that there's some stigma around leaving and rejoining, but I think if you want a successful creator recipe, there has to be some guidance. If you need to step away, that's fine, but it's all the time. If it's all the time, then yeah. And the thing with creator SMPs is everybody kind of has a similar value system. Like, I have an audience and I need to make content for that, you know? So there's some motivation to work on those sorts of things. Has anybody ever done a SMP where they are the content creator and they have their friends play, but the friends are not content creators? I mean, I'm sure that somebody's done that, but I'm curious if anybody of note has ever done something like that, where it's just like content creator and their friends. I see that being dangerous because the friends have no stakes. Like, they don't care. They don't have an audience or a schedule. What if you built leave into the story? So if you leave the server for any length of time, whether it's going on a vacation or I'm going to take a month off and reconsider, like, there's somewhere that your character goes, and then rejoining could provide something, like you would come back with something, or there'd be some deficiency when you came back, like you would, I don't know, just thinking out loud. I would just love to make something that was less stressful and more fun, but still sufficiently effective, you know, for people who want to get the most out of it. I wish that leaves despawned when you cut the tree down. If they're player placed leaves, great, leave them. But if you are not part of this tree, go away. That's my wish. That, and that horses would stay put and not run away. I ask so little. I don't stream, but I'd love to be on an SMP, and I'm totally committed to any build I start. So there are people like that. I know there are like creators who, like, you could charge for a membership, and then, you know, like Tango has a server and, you know, his viewers play on it. But I just don't think that, I don't think that's the audience that I would want to play with. Like the people who are pay-to-play types, or who are trying to like with somebody like Tango, one-up them or impress them, or, you know what I mean? So I think like a Patreon server or something like that is not the way I would go. I would much more go with just invite like whomever I wanted to play with. A good idea, but implementing feels really tough. But yeah. What if you did like a hall pass system? Like, you get whitelisted for a month, And then if you want to hang out for another month, I'll whitelist you again. But if you don't, then you drop off. And then if you want back on, you just ask again. I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking on that. Because that's the one thing that is a bummer, is like there's nobody else here in this world besides me and this cow. There's villagers. Villagers are not... They're not even great NPCs. Am I going in the right direction? Oop, okay, what's this? This is a mess. Not a impassable mess, but it's a little bit of a mess. We want to go ever so slightly to the left. Yeah. Okay. All right, sun's going down. Let's see if I can figure out how to get back to the bed before I get eaten by monsters. Yeah, the success criteria, that's a good point. I feel like my attitude with an SMP is I want it to be fun, unstressful, and productive, I guess. I don't know. That's a great question. What is this? It's nothing. It's literally nothing. Okay, so I can cover this up. What is this? Leaves. I would like a content-focused SMP, but with more liberal guidelines around how often to post. I want to post when I'm happy with the content, not to meet a deadline within reason. Agreed. I think that's reasonable. There's something else that I felt like was kind of hit and miss on the SMPs that I've been on, is meetings. I think meetings should be more regular and optional. Like if you have an idea, or if you are working on something and you want input or whatever, come to the meeting. But otherwise, just some sort of like monthly newsletter of like, hey everybody, on this date we're going to do this, and on this date we're going to do that, so that there could be group events. I think that's important for an SMP, is for things to happen as a group. You know, today it's going to be trial chamber day, and we're all going to go to a trial chamber and do it together. Today we're going to go end rating, and we're all going to go together. And things like that. I think that's fun. And if you did like one a month, you know, where there's like one group activity planned a month, awesome. So maybe we don't even need meetings. We just need communication, I guess, is the truth of it. And that would give people content if they wanted to do it. And otherwise, yeah, I think it would be up to you as far as how frequently you needed to post things. I would prefer somebody be there and making things, you know, adding to the world, even if they weren't posting it every week, just to help flesh out the world. Yeah, I agree. The thing, and maybe I'm a weirdo, I mean, that's been established to a degree, but the one thing I didn't like about the SMP that we were on was it was too social, I felt. Like, I had a hard time making content because people just wanted to hang out in Discord. And I think there should be, to your point, a time for that. But otherwise, like, let me talk to my audience and record a video. You know, if we plan something like we're going to do a thing, or Douglas and I are going to talk about something cool, or if we happen upon each other, use the voice mod and talk to each other like that, like for real, rather than just constantly being in a chat room. Because I found I was much less productive. I was social, but I wasn't very productive. Yeah. And I didn't want to be the bad guy of like, no, I'm not going to hang out because I need to make a video because that's the rules. And then there are other people, like I said, not everybody on a amateur, you know, non-professional SMP is going to have the same work ethic or things like that. And there were some people where I was like, if they were on, I would not want to be necessarily. Usually younger people. Just the maturity thing really got to me. I've lost my direction. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Something else, had a thought, and then I thought about the thought, and I was like, this might seem kind of scammy, but I'll say it out loud anyway. What if you had an SMP that you had to pay for? Like, invite only, but then there was like membership dues, you know, to pay for the server or whatever, instead of just having one person pay for it. Would that make people more likely to participate if they were paying $5 a month? You know what I mean? Again, I don't like the whole pay to play kind of thing. Like, I don't want it to be like that kind of thing. That's the scammy part. But if there's like a membership dues sometimes, like with a gym membership, if you're paying for it, you're more likely to go, generally. No hate on anybody. How are we doing? Are we doing it? I think we're doing it. This road is so much longer than I thought. Oh, I thought I saw a torch. Nope, it was a dandelion. And it's raining. Okay, we need to turn hard left. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I've got about 15 more minutes before I need to go be productive. I don't think I'm going to get this done in that time. It's a much bigger project than I had thought. Oh my gosh, these leaves, they're just terrible. I appreciate the silliness of Minecraft physics. Oh, I'm hearing things. Some of the things, like the leaves, just annoying. Hey, language. Yeah. Yeah, family friendly has always been a thing for me as well. I feel like it's just, especially as making content, the right thing to do. You know, it's a game that a lot of kids are into, and yeah. To go either way would probably make recruiting hard, but I personally wouldn't mind chipping in. Yeah. Sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. I felt like on the SMP that we were on as well, that the game style was just inconsistent. Like there were some people who, and it's a little bit like this on Hermitcraft as well, I guess. But there were some people who just wanted to race through the game and were hyper competitive about that kind of thing. And it's like, hey, it's a community, you know, we're all doing the thing. Chill out. These leaves. Apples. Apples. Okay. I cut down this tree, but I don't want to deal with those leaves. Come back to it. Keep hearing things. I think as a server, you should try to do stuff together. So like first dragon kill as an example, but I also think there's a... Yeah, I mean, I agree. It is a sandbox, so that's totally fine. How? Whoa. Okay, how are we doing here? Up and over this way. So many trees. Someone's content is really getting to the end. And I said no. Yeah, no, I agree. You should be able to choose your own adventure in that regard. Yeah, Tango and Skiz and Impulse, they're moving fast. They're doing these giant projects though, and I get that. You can't waste time on little things when you're building that scale. Which way am I going? I'm so turned around. Torch is over here. Did I not put a torch? There's a torch. Okay, let's put another torch here. It's all a little wibbly wobbly as far as how things should be, I guess. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, with people, of course. I think the most important thing is just shared values as far as, you know, what is important, what is not important, what is allowed, what's not allowed, and then go wild. It's like the hermits are all very different people. And very different play styles. I feel like I'm still too close to that ravine. But they all get along, and they're all respectful. And that's what matters, I think, ultimately. There. Honey? I'm seeing things all over the place. There was honey. That's what I saw as the bee flew over me, and yeah, anyway. I think retrospectives at end of season would be cool as a group too. Like, what did you think of the season? What was good? What would you do different? Yeah, I could see that being a cool thing. It's hard sometimes when things wrap up because some people check out earlier than other people, mentally or project-wise. So yeah, season ends and stuff like that. I could see that being a challenge, but also a worthwhile thing. I think we just did it. Yeah, there's our torches. That is our road. Great. Come across like so. Need to flatten some of this out. Get rid of these stupid leaves. So stupid. Come across like so. What was that up on the mountain? Oh, it's a horse. That's the weirdest looking sheep I ever saw. Boy, this is a lot more of a road than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a lot shorter. Oh well. Oh well. I don't know if you've seen any of the Hermitcraft this season, season 11. Mumbo is getting to be such a good builder. Like, so good. Usually he was just redstone and that was it, but his building is so good. And then Etho is doing his whole donkey situation, and he's breeding these donkeys that are so fast, absurdly fast, and they jump so high. It is crazy. It is just bonkers. But it's pretty fun. It's fun that they, even after all these years, still come up with new ideas and ways to play. Well, I think that is going to do it for today. I need to get some stuff done. I think next weekend we're back to normal, another Saturday stream. The weekend after that, I think I have to work the weekend before Christmas Day. So, no stream that weekend. But then we'll be back at it as usual. We're moving at a pretty good clip. I think I will be able to finish up by episode 100, if not sooner. And yeah, I'm real, like I said, bittersweet. This is so cool, these roads and all of this work. But it is what it is, and once it's done, no reason really to hang out. That's the bummer with Minecraft, is you build these big things and then you don't ever live in them or enjoy them. You kind of move on to the next thing. Oh well, I have bigger plans. Bigger plans. So yeah, probably get to that in the new year at the rate things are going. That'll be great. So anyway, thank you all for popping on and for the chat. If I come up with an SMP idea, I'll let you know. But otherwise, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.